cold, hard steel, the unforgiving metal that separates freedom from captivity. These bars, these doors, they are more than just barriers. They are symbols of a life interrupted, a life put on hold indefinitely, a single flickering bulb casting long dancing shadows. This dim light is the only companion in the darkness, a cruel reminder of the outside world that continues to exist without you. The air, thick with the stench of despair, hangs heavy and still. Each breath is a struggle, each moment a battle against the crushing weight of isolation. The walls seem to close in, suffocating any glimmer of hope. This is not a place for the living. It is a realm of shadows and echoes, where the only sounds are the whispers of your own thoughts, growing louder and more insistent with each passing day. This is a tomb, a concrete coffin designed to bury the soul. The silence is deafening, a crushing, all-encompassing presence. The small, barred window offers no solace, only a glimpse of a sky you can no longer touch. It seeps into your bones, a constant reminder of your isolation. Time loses all meaning. Days stretch into weeks, weeks into months, and soon the concept of time itself becomes a distant memory. Days bleed into nights, marked only by the meager rations shoved through a slot in the solid steel door. This is solitary confinement, a place where the passage of time is measured not by clocks, but by the growl of an empty stomach. A world devoid of human touch, of hope, of sanity. The walls are your only companions, the silence your only friend. In this place the mind begins to unravel, piece by piece. A place where the line between punishment and torture blurs into oblivion. Here, the soul is tested, the spirit broken, and the will to live slowly eroded by the relentless march of time. Human beings are social creatures. We crave connection, interaction, the simple comfort of another's presence. Solitary confinement takes this fundamental human need and twists it into a weapon. Imagine a world stripped bare of all social interaction. No friendly faces, no conversations to break the monotony, no comforting touch, just you, the four walls, and the deafening silence. The weight of loneliness becomes unbearable, crushing the spirit, eroding the mind. Studies have shown that prolonged isolation can lead to a range of devastating psychological effects. Anxiety, depression, paranoia, hallucinations, even psychosis. The human mind, starved of interaction, begins to devour itself. The human brain is a complex and delicate organ, finely tuned through millions of years of evolution to thrive on social interaction. Solitary confinement throws this delicate machinery into chaos. Deprived of external stimuli, the mind starts to malfunction. Sensory deprivation can lead to hallucinations, both visual and auditory. The line between reality and delusion blurs. Prisoners report seeing things, hearing voices, feeling phantom sensations. Prolonged isolation also disrupts sleep patterns, impairs cognitive function, and can even lead to physical health problems. The mind and body, inextricably linked, begin to break down under the relentless pressure of solitary confinement. The horrors of solitary confinement are not theoretical. They are a grim reality faced by many prisoners around the world. Countless individuals have endured this brutal form of punishment, their stories echoing the profound psychological damage inflicted by prolonged isolation. The mental and emotional toll is often unbearable, leading to severe depression, hallucinations, and a sense of hopelessness that can be overwhelming. Take the case of Albert Woodfox, who spent over 4 decades in solitary confinement in Louisiana. His story is a harrowing example of the extreme conditions that some prisoners are subjected to. Subjected to almost unimaginable isolation, Woodfox emerged from prison a changed man, forever scarred by his ordeal. The psychological scars he carries are a testament to the inhumanity of solitary confinement. His story, and countless others like it, serves as a stark warning about the devastating impact of this practice. Activists and reformers have long called for an end to solitary confinement, citing its cruel and inhumane nature. Experts have documented the long-term psychological effects of solitary confinement, including PTSD, chronic anxiety, and an increased risk of suicide. These effects can last a lifetime, making it difficult for former prisoners to reintegrate into society. The scars of isolation run deep, often persisting long after release from prison. The journey to recovery is long and arduous, and for many, the psychological wounds may never fully heal. The stories of those who have endured solitary confinement serve as a powerful reminder of the urgent need for prison reform. The Stanford Prison Experiment, conducted in 1971, offered a chilling glimpse into the psychological effects of power and isolation. The experiment, which simulated a prison environment, had to be terminated early due to the extreme and disturbing behavior exhibited by the participants. The guards, given power over the prisoners, quickly became authoritarian and abusive. The prisoners, stripped of their identity and subjected to dehumanizing treatment, experienced severe emotional distress. The Stanford Prison Experiment demonstrated the ease with which ordinary individuals can succumb to the toxic influence of a controlled environment. The use of solitary confinement raises profound moral and ethical questions. It is a practice that has been employed for centuries, often justified as a means to maintain order and discipline within the prison system. But at what cost? Is it ever justifiable to subject another human being to such extreme isolation, knowing the devastating psychological toll it can take? Studies have shown that prolonged solitary confinement can lead to severe mental health issues, including depression, anxiety, and even hallucinations. Some argue that solitary confinement is a necessary tool for maintaining order within prisons, separating dangerous individuals from the general population. They believe it is essential for the safety of both inmates and staff. However, the evidence suggests that it is often overused, applied arbitrarily, and disproportionately affects minority groups and individuals with mental health issues. The lack of clear guidelines and oversight means that many prisoners are subjected to solitary confinement for minor infractions or without a clear justification. Is it justice to subject individuals to a punishment that can cause lasting psychological harm, even if they have committed a crime? The long-term effects of solitary confinement can be devastating, making it difficult for individuals to reintegrate into society once they are released. The morality of solitary confinement is a question that continues to be debated, with no easy answers. As society evolves, so too must our understanding of justice and the ways in which we treat those who have broken the law. It is a complex issue that requires careful consideration and a balance between maintaining order and respecting human dignity. The debate surrounding solitary confinement often centers on the perceived need for security versus the potential for suffering. However, this is a false dichotomy. While it is true that some individuals may pose a genuine threat to the safety of others within a prison environment, the widespread use of solitary confinement is neither an effective nor a humane solution. There are alternative approaches to managing prison populations and addressing behavioral issues that do not rely on prolonged isolation. Moreover, the argument that solitary confinement enhances security ignores the long-term consequences of releasing individuals back into society after they have been subjected to such extreme psychological trauma. The impact of solitary confinement extends far beyond the walls of the prison cell. Individuals released from solitary often struggle to reintegrate into society. They may experience difficulty finding employment, forming relationships, and coping with the everyday stresses of life outside prison. The psychological scars of isolation can linger for years, even decades. Former prisoners may suffer from PTSD, anxiety, depression, and a range of other mental health issues. They may also have difficulty trusting others, managing their emotions, and adjusting to life in a world that now seems alien and overwhelming. The use of solitary confinement is a stain on our collective conscience. It is a barbaric practice that has no place in a civilized society. We must find alternative solutions that prioritize rehabilitation and reintegration over punishment and isolation. This requires a fundamental shift in our approach to criminal justice. We must move away from a system that prioritizes retribution and embrace one that emphasizes restorative justice, rehabilitation, and the recognition of our shared humanity. As we grapple with the complex issues surrounding solitary confinement, one question remains. Can we, as a society, justify the infliction of such profound suffering in the name of security? The answer, I believe, is a resounding no. The human cost of solitary confinement is simply too high. We must find a better way, one that upholds the dignity of all individuals, even those who have committed crimes. The silence of solitary confinement is a deafening indictment of our humanity. It is time for us to listen to the echoes of anguish emanating from these tombs of despair and choose a more compassionate path.